Hi, fifth graders. Today we are going to work on revising our flash draft narratives that you worked on last time. And to do that, we need to know, how do you elaborate or add on to what you already have? So right now you're going to need to go get your writer's notebook. Okay. If you have a pencil, get a pencil. And then if you have any colored pencils or pens, get those as well, because that'll help you while you're taking notes. Ready? Pause this video, go get those things. Okay, at the top of your notebook, I want you to write down the word elaboration. Now, you may be wondering, what does it mean to elaborate? Well, when you're telling a story, it means to add details or to expand on an idea. And to expand means to grow, to get bigger, right? So be thinking about how you can grow your stories. There are some possible ways to elaborate, and I'm just going to show you 3 today, but there are definitely more. The first one is to make sure you tell all the parts of what happened. Sometimes readers can't see into your heads, and we forget to mention some of the key things that happen. So tell all of those parts. The second thing that you can try is to show how a character feels by describing what happens to their bodies when they feel that feeling. So you might have a character who is feeling embarrassed, and instead of just saying they were embarrassed, you could describe how their face turned beet red. Okay. Or maybe you have a character who is feeling a little bit uneasy, and so you might describe that they had butterflies in their stomach. Okay. One last way that you can elaborate for what we're going to do today is that you can use descriptive words that capture the 5 senses. And those 5 senses are sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Something like that can help make a story really strong. Okay, for this next part, you're going to need some Post-it notes. If you don't have Post-it notes, then what you can do is put a little star on the parts where you are going to add more to it, and then turn the page. And this, just remember that you're going to use whatever you write for your elaboration. You're going to use that when you come back to do your published piece. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to go look back at our narratives and think about what are the most important parts of each section. And we are going to use that part to elaborate, to tell more about it. Okay, so if you look back at my first page, I have, it was a hot summer day and I was tired from all the driving. We had finally arrived at my cousin's horse camp to watch her final ride. My grandma got us out of the car and ushered us to the corral. Now, I know that my big part is all about arriving at the horse camp, and one way that I can elaborate is to show how a character is feeling. And so I'm going to actually put a Post-it note right here. I want to talk about how I was feeling as I was getting out of the car, right? So this is what I'm going to do. The drive had taken almost an hour. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Hour. And I was struggling to move my legs. However, butterflies tickled my stomach in excitement. I couldn't wait to see. Oh my gosh, I'm going to need another Post-it note. I couldn't wait to see my cousin perform. I think that's the right word. Okay, so now when I read it, it was a hot summer day and I was tired from all the driving. We had finally arrived at my cousin's horse camp to watch her final ride. The drive, I'm going to put this right here. The drive had taken almost an hour and I was struggling to move my legs. However, butterflies tickled my stomach in excitement. I couldn't wait to see my cousin perform. My grandma got us out of the car and ushered us to the corral. I'm going to put those right there. Look at that. Now I have a whole section that has elaboration. Okay, I'm going to turn the page. This one is going to be good. Now, in this section, the biggest part is when I sat on the bench. So let's see what I can do to add to it. My legs were tired, however, and my cousin wasn't performing yet. So I went over to a picnic table nearby and sat on a bench. All of a sudden, there were bees everywhere. I jumped up and ran away. Okay, so now look at this. This is like the biggest part of my story right here, and it's only 2 sentences long. I can do better than that. So I'm going to add a section all about how I was feeling. Ooh, and I'm going to use my senses too. All of a sudden, there were bees everywhere. I'm going to use let's see. I'm going to show how I'm feeling. A sudden surge of panic. Bolted through my body. I got to show how scared I am. The sound of a loud, I don't know, I'm going to have to come back to this. The sound of a loud, buzzing train, train, whistled through my ears. I knew that sound too well. Let's see how it goes. So all of a sudden, there were bees everywhere. A sudden surge of panic bolted through my body. The sound of a loud buzzing train whistled through my ears. I knew that sound too well. I jumped up and ran away. Oh, see? Already it's getting better. When I turn to my last page, I have to really think about what's the most important. Oh, I got stung once. Okay, so let's go. As I was running, I felt a sharp prick on my leg. A bee had stung me. I was lucky it was only one. I ran to my grandma and she got me some bee sting medicine. After a while, my leg stopped stinging. Ooh, okay, so a part that I want to expand on is right up here. As I was running, I felt a sharp prick on my leg. Ooh, I wonder if I could talk about what it felt like. It felt like a needle piercing, a hot needle piercing into my skin. Oh, yuck. A bee had stung me. I'm going to leave that one there, but I want to add on to this part. I was lucky it was only one. I ran to my grandma and she got me some bee sting medicine. That seems kind of fast, so I'm going to say I ran to my grandma and jumped into her arms, sobbing. And this is that thing where I'm going to go back and tell every part. So I missed a whole bunch. I went to my grandma and then she went and got me some bee sting medicine. There's a lot that happened in between. I ran to my grandma and jumped into her arms, sobbing. I'm going to use some dialogue. Grandma, a bee's nest. I managed to sputter. I like that word, sputter. Pointing to the bench. She hugged me close and decided I needed, wait, I lost a post note. I ran out of post notes. I have so much to say. Ooh, here's a little small one. I needed some medical attention. I limped with her to the health station to get some medicine. Ooh, that sounds way better than I ran to my grandma and she got me some bee sting medicine. No, I got to tell the whole part, right? I ran to my grandma. I'm going to cross this part out and use this instead. Oh, already my story's starting to sound better. Does it look pretty? No, it doesn't look pretty, right? If it looked pretty, there wouldn't be a draft. So don't worry about how pretty it looks. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to go back to your story and I want you to think about what's the most important part on this first page and then add something. Okay, add something that will help to elaborate. Maybe you'll add a couple of parts that you left out, or maybe you'll show how the character feels, or maybe you'll add in how they felt, what they smelled, what they saw, what they heard. Give it a shot. See what you can do today. Good luck.